Hi, I'm Annie Drake. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm author of the book, Help Me, I Have a Teenager, The Nitty-Gritty Guide to Parental Sanity. I'm going to talk with you about some great ways to motivate your teenager. You may find that your teenager is very motivated to chat with their friends, be on their phones or on their computers. But I want to talk about some ways today to motivate your kids to move beyond just the screens that light up and to get them involved in activities that will actually create motivation for them and how to actually do that with your teenager. Motivation is experimental and it's experiential. When we give our teenagers ways to complete tasks, to have activities, they learn that they can accomplish a lot through an activity, and it is actually through the activity that it creates motivation. Instead of thinking you just need to motivate your teenager to be really excited to do their homework or to take on a task or to do an activity, actually, I want you to think about motivation in a really different way, in kind of a backwards way. So while you're in the kitchen doing the dishes, still talking yourself out of it, when you're done, you feel really good, even though you really didn't want to do that. So we're going to work a lot with your teenagers on getting them to move their feet. Once you offer your teenager a chore, you want to make sure the chore is not too redundant. If your son's been taking out the garbage for 10 years, you should probably retire him from that task and give him something different or novel, like washing windows or vacuuming. And all you have to do is walk up and hand him a vacuum, or hand him a basket of clothing, or hand him a shovel. So when that happens, your teenager is having something experiential. They've got something in front of them, and their job is to do that chore or do that task. The best thing to do is to do that side by side. Let's say you want your teenager to do a big task like dig a hole and plant a tree. You want to team up with your teenager. You're going to dig a hole right next to your teenager. You're going to dig a hole, he's going to dig a hole. And as much as he complains and gripes about doing it, this kind of hard work is actually developing motivation in him. And as much as he complains about it and protests while he does it, what happens at the end of that, when the two of you sit on your back porch and look at the 2 trees that you planted, is he feels a sense of accomplishment. He feels good about himself. He's actually developing self-motivation. I want you to think about that actually fairly often with your teenager. The idea is that you always say something positive before you say something negative. It works really well with teenagers. So let's say your son Zach, his job is to go mow the lawn. So he goes out and he mows a great Z pattern in the backyard, and then only half of it is mowed, but he comes in and he says to mom and dad, "I finished mowing." So if his father's going to respond to him, he might get really upset with him and tell Zach in a lecture format that he knows a lot better about mowing half a lawn and he's not finished with his job. But I'd rather you say something positive first. So what we might say to Zach, or have the parents say to Zach, is that, "Hey, that was a really cool Z pattern. And why don't you Z the rest of the lawn, and when the whole lawn is the same length, then you'll be done with your job." So it works so much better to then just jumping into something negative or critical is to say something positive first. If you get a great deal of resistance, this is when you may want to say, "Look, you're going to lose your technology for the next hour if you don't come downstairs and start working." That usually gets your teenager's attention very quickly because that's their connection to their peer group. So these are several ways that you can create the beginning of an opportunity for them to begin a task. When your teenager is working hard and you're saying positive things, I want you to know that your praise is actually really priceless. I don't recommend paying teenagers to do tasks or chores around the house. Nobody pays you to go to the grocery store or clean the house. So I don't recommend you pay your teenager. But when you say, "You did a great job on those windows," or "I was so impressed with how you cleaned the floor," what begins to happen is your teenager starts to feel really good about themselves. They develop their own internal sense of motivation that they can complete a task or do a task well. So I recommend you be patient with them, you be respectful with them, engage with your teenager while they're doing the task, and even give praise after the task. Say to other people that you're really impressed that your son could actually mow the lawn, detail a car, train the dog. There's all kinds of things that your kid can do, your son or daughter can be involved in, that really helps build internal motivation, and it comes through hard work. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope these ideas help you with motivating your teenager, finding ways to help them work hard, and developing competent, capable, happy teenagers. Remember that together, we are building better teenagers. Thank you.